right to the shortstop off contact. Hayward was headed home. He's in a rundown, and he avoided the tag, and all hands are safe.
Welcome back to the Rundown Podcast. My name is Abe Hicks with my main man, Dylan Kearns. We are back, and we are better than ever. We are creeping upon a new baseball season, which means we are back. We're going to be giving you baseball content all year long, starting today. Dylan, how are you doing?
Are you watching spring training like me? Are you sitting over here I'm not watching all the time,
No,
but
I'm
it's
not
on
really.
now. You have the option to tune in and watch baseball, and that's something that I've been missing for the last 3 months. You got the opportunity. The bats are popping. There's some rule things going on. We'll get into that in a little bit, but
We definitely will.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of moving pieces in the game, and I'm excited for a new year.
Yeah. So, for me, barely watched a lick of spring training baseball. If the Yankees are playing, I'll catch an inning, catch Anthony Volpe. Hopefully our new starting shortstop, which we'll get into the Yankees later. But like you said, Dylan, like you mentioned, there are a lot of new changes, a lot of new rules MLB has implemented going into this new year. Starting with the pitchers. Pitchers can only disengage from the mound twice. If they do it for a third time, then they have to throw over to the runner. There's a pitch clock now. So pitchers are, and hitters too, they have to be in the batter's box by a certain time. A lot of change coming to baseball. Dylan, what do you make of it? Do you like the new changes?
I think it comes with trial and error, and it's going to be something that happens a little bit later on into like the process of, all right, the more they start doing it by about June, it's going to be like, all right, there's probably no exceptions. April, May, they're going to lose some games in some terrible ways. People are going to get pissed. Managers are going to be ejected. That's just going to be how it is. But I think some of the subtle changes, no one talks about the bigger bases. Everyone's like, oh, who gives a crap? I tell you
That's
what,
huge.
I tell you who gives a crap is John Birdie, the speedster of the damn Marlins. I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot more stolen bases this year, and I'm excited for it. You get better jumps, the whole pickoff rule. You can't throw over 3 times. You sit right there. If you're a base stealer, you're getting a little bit of an extra lead because not only is he may not use that quick pickoff right away, he might save it for later in the count where you think it's a good count to run. He could steal first pitch, grab second base, which is a bigger bag, easier range to touch. Plus, it's safer for the players. I'm actually a big fan of the bigger bases, although it's kind of stupid.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm also a huge fan. There's going to be a lot of mind games being played between runners and pitchers. On the flip side, there's going to be a lot of mind games between pitchers and hitters with the pitch clock. Kudos to Rob Manfred on this. Usually he makes terrible decisions, but I think these changes are good in my opinion. Let's think about this, right? So the NFL, they're always making changes, right? The NFL is the king of all sports leagues. Why? Because they are always adapting and changing to their fan base, and baseball viewership was as high as ever in the 70s and 80s. But as soon as they got taken over by the NBA and NFL, they're way behind playing catch up. What are the famous words of Billy Beane from Moneyball? Adapt or die. Baseball has been dying for the past 30 years. Now it's time to adapt to a new generation, new technology, and new audiences. Kudos to Rob Manfred.
Not a bad take, but I'll say one thing. The NFL is going to be the NFL. You could put them out there without pads on, and people are still going to watch millions every single Sunday.
Right. But think about it. They made the choice to, hey, let's protect our quarterbacks. Let's protect our moneymakers, the quarterback. And that's going well for them, right? So the NFL is they're always thinking ahead. Baseball has always been behind. So
I want to say a point real quick on the pitch clock thing. I don't hate the idea. There's a couple tweaks that'll need to be made. One of them is I think there's going to be more arm injuries due to pitchers. And maybe you could say like, oh, whatever. But I'm telling you, they go high velo, ramp it up. Maybe bullpen guys that are used to coming out of the pen, taking their time. The Pedro Baez is taking 10 minutes an inning, just out there relaxing. They got to come in. Not only do they get hot in the bullpen and crank. They go out there. They're on a pitch clock. All right, come set, fire, boom. Those back-to-back days of using relievers could really catch up to you down the stretch, especially if you're a contending team that doesn't have the best bullpen. If your main guy's getting outs after outs after outs, you could be in trouble deep into the year.
Yeah, the pitch clock is going to have a huge effect on pitchers' velo. I think the velos will be down. Think about it, because they don't have as much time to gain the energy to pump 102. So the velos will be down without a doubt, which gives hitters a better chance to hit the ball, more higher pace of play, more balls in play. This is great for baseball. And something else we didn't mention, the shift. The shift is gone, right? We did see the Red Sox try and toy with that, but for the most part, the shift is gone. And I also like that as well. We mentioned other leagues, the NFL and NBA. Those leagues within their game, they have formation rules, right? Why should baseball be any different? So
I agree. I love the banning of the shift. I mean, first of all, the guys should learn how to go the other way. It's not rocket science. I'm always going to be on that side. I don't care if you're
but it's hard to do when you're getting 102 inside the hands.
Well, then adapt. I'm telling you, pull those hands inside. You can do it at every level. Why can't you do it at the major league level? Every single coach tells you to go to right center field if you're a righty, left center field. Go to the opposite field, BP. Every single hack that someone takes in batting practice, they're going to the opposite field. So I'm not going to be a little bit of an old head here and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, you're $10 million man, Cody Bellinger, i.e., $20 million, whatever he's making, just to roll over to the right side." I'm telling you. It's not hard to beat a shift. And I know I haven't played the game at a high level. I peaked out at high school where I hit a 156 and shit the pants. But other than that, I'm telling you, it's not rocket science to beat the shift. Pull your hands, go the other way. So I'm not terribly upset about the banning of the shift. I just think it's something that shouldn't have had to been done.
You are definitely making that sound way easier than reality, Dylan.
It's not
without a doubt. It's not your problem. Okay. Let's move on. We mentioned the new changes, the new rules coming to the game, new offseason, meaning, hey, we got some new players on some new teams, faces in new places. Dylan, who are your under the radar players coming into this new year?
Want me to say them all at once, or you want me to go one by one by one? We alternate.
No, just go all at once.
All right, I think the number one player that'll have the most impact on a team in all of baseball, underrated signing so far this offseason, Joshua Bell of the Cleveland Guardians. I'm telling you, if you put that bat into their lineup, they haven't had first base power. Last year they had Slapdick and Owen Miller. He hit about, I don't even think he hit 6 home runs. I mean, the guy has no power whatsoever.
Oh my gosh.
And I'm telling you, they needed power that deep into the playoff run. If it wasn't for Oscar Gonzalez coming up with some big hits against the Rays and your beloved Yankees, I'm telling you, they would not have scored any runs. Bringing a Josh Bell over there, I'm not telling you he's going to hit 260 and be the pre All-Star break 2019 Josh Bell that was just hitting balls galore. But I'm telling you, he's a nice bat. He hits for power. He's going to play in that ballpark really well. He hits from both sides of the plate, gives them that versatility. You put him behind a Jose Ramirez, Andres Jimenez, who had a good year, Oscar Gonzalez in year 2. There's a lot of pieces there. I think that's an underrated signing. Number 2, it was tough for me to decide if this should be 2 or this should be 3 because I ranked these in order. The second most impact on a team, I'm staying in the AL Central, Pablo Lopez to the Minnesota Twins. I'm telling you, that was sexy and under the radar.
Wasn't that supposed to happen last year?
Yeah, it was. But this was, they traded Luis Arias, who had a great year last year, to Miami.
Not high on him.
Not how I know he doesn't fit today's modern game. But I think you look at Pablo Lopez, that guy shoved for most of last year, especially in the first half. He's one of the best pitchers in the National League. Now he's in the American League. I think that's what they missed. They lost a couple big pieces in that rotation over the years with Jose Barrios, and last year it really came down to pitching. They blew that division lead, and I think an addition right there of Pablo Lopez is really going to help out that rotation. I think he's one of the most underrated arms in the game. And then number 3, it's a veteran signing. It's a great move by the Los Angeles Dodgers. I love JD Martinez. And
we're in the same boat on that one.
Last year, was he 276, 16 bombs? It was
Which
a down
sounds
year.
crazy. That's a down year for Martinez. For anybody else.
Down year
That's
for
amazing.
JD, but you put him in LA, you surround him. I mean, last year he was asked to carry a lot of the weight on that team, you know. They lost to Kyle Schwarber the offseason before, so they were trying to come into the place like, all right, here's going to be your power hitter. He's going to have to get it done. And they're like, all right, that was okay. You're still surrounded there by Bogarts and Devers. I'm not ignoring those. But you bring him to LA, you got Freddie Freeman, you got Will Smith, you got Mookie Betts. You just put, you know, just a JD Martinez in that lineup, you know, a veteran bat, 35 years old. He's going to rake. He's going to get on base. And that's something that is really going to be controversial to the Dodgers. And I really like him in LA.
Yeah, well, that's so funny you said JD Martinez because for me, he is my number one too. Obviously, he had a down year by JD Martinez standards. I believe last year he batted 274, but what was really low for him was the power number, 16 home runs. The last time he hit home runs that low, excluding the COVID year, was 2017. I'm sorry, yeah, 2017 when he was with the Tigers. No, hold up. I'm reading this wrong. He hit that before he got traded to the Diamondbacks. So that's the lowest he's hit in his career since 2013 when he hit 7 in a shortened year with the Astros. So that's how bad JD Martinez was last year. And here's another thing. The Dodgers are known for taking players, taking players that need some rehabilitation, building them back up, increasing their value and turn them good again. I think, excuse me, LA, they have a great history of developing players, whether that's veterans or prospects. They're really good at it. JD Martinez, a perfect spot for him. And I just can imagine, I can picture him torching the Giants, torching the Padres in key moments. So that was my first player. My second player, Wilson Contreras. I think that this was an amazing signing, possibly get to the World Series signing. Who was the catcher before last year? Or who's their catcher last year? Yadier Molina, who was an automatic out in their lineup. Now, with Contreras, they still keep an experienced catcher calling games who can also rake and play defense. I love that. And number 3, I have all hitters on my list. I got Jesse Winker to the Brewers. He knows the division very well, playing in the NL Central with the Reds. Playing in not as a pitcher-friendly ballpark like Seattle, I think that would help him a lot. I think he's poised for a huge year. He had a good first half last year, got hurt, but I think he's going to add a lot of value to the Brewers.
I'm going to jump in. I think that's a sexy pick, Abe.
Mm-hmm.
That is, you talk about under the radar. You put him in a ballpark like that. Heck, Christian Yelich was good when he got traded. He wasn't amazing when he left Miami to go to Milwaukee, but a left-handed bat plays in that ballpark. Next thing you know, the guy's an MVP. I'm not saying he's going to be an MVP,
Right.
I'm telling you that swing's going to play in that ballpark. That's a hell of a pick.
I agree. All right. Well, we mentioned some offseason moves so far, and there's one team in particular, happens to be my favorite team, who didn't make a lot of noise this offseason, except 2 signings. One of them was retaining the best player in baseball last year, and the other one was signing one of the best pitchers in baseball, which you can say that is a huge plus. But, Dylan, in your opinion, the Yankees always have high expectations. Do you believe the Yankees got better this offseason?
Yes, you're an idiot. And here's why you're an idiot. I'll back up my stance of being an idiot by saying that you brought in one of the outside of maybe Max Fried, Carlos Rodon's the best left-handed pitcher in baseball. I know I'm forgetting about Framber Valdez. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, Carlos Rodon is a great pitcher. And he's had some health concerns over his years. But I'm telling you, the last few years, he's finally been able to stay healthy. His great year in Chicago. He went to San Francisco. I'm telling you, Carlos Rodon is a huge piece in that rotation. And you can laugh at me all you want. But look, you go up and down that rotation. They got the best rotation in all of baseball. No doubt about it. Because you get a healthy Luis Severino back who's going to be a starting pitcher, not this whole late relief, coming out of the bullpen. He's still not ready to ramp up. He's getting a spring training. He's going to pitch. He's going to be the 5 on that team. You back them all up with everyone else in that rotation. I mean, they're looking solid 1 through 5 in New York. And you bring back the best player in all of baseball last year. You started out this argument by, I know a team that didn't make many moves. All we did was sign the best player of baseball and brought in the best pitcher on the market. Have you lost your damn mind?
All right. Let me give you some context of will the Yankees get better this offseason? What I mean by that is, will they make it past the ALCS? And the question to that is no, they won't. They added nothing to this roster that hurt them in the postseason last year. The Astros held them scoreless a few games in the ALCS. That has nothing to do with Carlos Rondon. Aaron Judge was on that team. Aaron Judge was, matter of fact, he was really bad this past postseason. Aaron Judge, that's a bare minimum. You should re-sign him. You know what? Go get another arm. That's amazing. That's perfect. But that's not moving the needle. Carlos Rondon, that's not beating the Astros. You know what will beat the Astros? Go get another left fielder. Figure out shortstop. Get rid of Josh Donaldson. Those are three key positions. I know DJ LeMahieu was hurt last year, but left field, shortstop, that's big red flag, big question mark for the Yankees going into the season. I mean, I hope they put Anthony Volpe there. That'd be great. But also, he's a rookie, so we don't know how that's going to turn out. Left field.
Talking about. Look at Jeremy Pena. Look how he turned out. You put a rookie at shortstop.
I didn't say there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying he's a rookie, so we don't know how that's that's all going to play out.
No, this is the Yankees trusting their system for the first time in their franchise.
Hold on. I want them to. I'm just saying, pump the brakes.
You're mad they didn't sign anyone to fill the gaps. You got to trust the kids to let them play.
I want them to, but I don't think he's going to start the season in the Bronx. I don't want IKF there. That's what I'm saying.
What's the matter if you lose a few?
You're not listening to my point. I'm saying I don't want IKF there. All right. I don't think Anthony Volpe is ready yet. I don't think he's ready yet. Left field is still an abysmal. I don't want to see Aaron Hicks track and fly balls. Josh Donaldson was terrible. He's way overpaid. He's a waste of space, in my opinion. The Yankees did nothing to prepare and beat the Astros. That's my whole point. And that's what I mean. Did they get better this offseason? No, they didn't.
Yes, they did. I don't know if they got better, but you listed three players who will be DFA'd, traded, or on the bench come July. All of them.
Oh, then who's replacing them?
I'm telling you who's replacing them right now. Easily, hindsight 2020 right here. Aaron Hicks, IR. Not IR. He'll be on the IL, right? Aaron Hicks is on IL by July. Looking outside of that, you got the third baseman, Josh Donaldson. Maybe he's traded. Maybe he's DFA'd. I don't know, but he won't be starting at third. IKF, he'll be a nice defensive piece off the bench. Guess who's all playing those positions?
Deep.
Oswaldo Cabrera's in left. You got DJ LeMahieu at third, and you got Anthony Volpe at shortstop. There's your team in the summer. So I don't want to hear this bullshit here in March. I want you to seriously come at me again in July and say, man, you know what? I should have let the kids play, because that's what the Astros have been doing the last few years, and that's how they've been winning World Series.
All right, I will when we're still trying out Aaron Hicks, because he has a good exit velo. And I'm talking like that from Cashman's opinion, because that's how he views these players. He doesn't he only makes moves when there's a ton of pressure. He's not looking ahead like the Astros are, like the Dodgers are. All right. And that's why I don't trust Cashman. I don't think this roster is built to beat the Astros. And that's my whole point here. They're just not built to beat the Astros. And that, in my opinion, that would warrant them being better than they were last year.
You want me to quote Billy the way that you just did?
All right, what?
To play to the Yankees out there, you're going to listen to the Yankees in there.
That doesn't work.
That doesn't
work. We can pay players. We can pay players. What are you talking about? We're not running a $30 million payroll.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is you're still trying to beat the Astros. That's your main thing. How about you try to win the series?
But we got to get through the Astros. We had to get through them the past 5 years.
Like the Astros get bounced in the first round out of nowhere. Then you're like, oh crap. Now we got to face a Mariners team.
I'll believe it when I see it. I'll believe it when I see it. Bad analogy. I'm just going to put that out there. I like my Moneyball analogy better. All right, moving on to the last topic. Speaking of the Astros, they are a team that is winning every year. They get to the World Series every year. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they're in the hunt every single year. Dylan has a proposition on how to win in the MLB. Dylan, let's hear
Telling
it.
you look it up. Look it up the last few years, based on how this has happened. Now, this is just my mindset, and you know what? I'm gonna ask you a question right away.
All right.
Would you have been happy if the Yankees signed Carlos Correa?
No, back worries me. The back and ankle worries me.
The back worries you.
Yes.
Here's my conundrum. You want to win a World Series, you don't pay a shortstop. If you look over the last few years, Jeremy Pena, they let Carlos Correa walk. They're like, all right, we'll play Jeremy Pena at shortstop for a year. They win a World Series. The Braves in 21, right? They got it done. How'd they get it done? Oh, Dansby? Oh, we'll let him walk a few years later. That doesn't matter. We don't want to pay our shortstop. We want to pay our outfielders. We want to pay our pitchers. Atlanta's did it right. Right? You look at 2020. Oh, the Dodgers, they're all roasting them how they lost all that money, billions of dollars worth of shortstops that came in with Machado, with Trey Turner, and then Corey Seager, who all got big contracts, right? Machado comes in. He got his. They're like, all right, we'll let him walk. That's a lot of money. We don't need him around. All right, Trey Turner, he got his. We don't need him around. Guess what they did? They won with Corey Seager on a on a little contract, not a big one. Let him walk. Doesn't matter. We're all right. Go to 2019. The Washington Nationals, we got a shortstop under contract, Trey Turner. We'll win right there. Don't worry about that, right? And then you look at the rest of the league, the way it's happened. 2016, the Cubs, Addison Russell, cheap contract, they won. That's how they did it. So teams are doing this all the time, and it's taken teams to realize, hey, maybe it's not so bizarre to think maybe you don't pay a shortstop. Maybe that's the running back in baseball terms.
That is, I never heard of that. I'm going to marinate on that because that is, I bet there's definitely is some other factors including on why
2018 Bogarts wasn't under contract. It wasn't a big one.
He's under arbitration. Right. Yeah.
So all these arbitration. Well, Addison Russell was pre-arb.
Right. So you're not shelling out big money to your shortstop. Why that position though? Why not shell out money to a first baseman? Why not shell money out?
You need to pay a first baseman. Here, all right. I should have brought this up in my main point. Shortstops are so damn athletic. And the way the game's changing right now, you can let one walk. You can let a shortstop walk right out of your building because you know what? You probably got 10 that you drafted. You got a little 19-year-old messing around in single A. Other than that, you're all the way through your system. You have shortstops that are coming up. Every single team has a shortstop in their system that says, you know what? If we were forced to play him, I think we're all right, But you're paying these big dollar shortstops who are only getting older, who are only getting less.
They're going to get moved off the position, too.
They're going to get moved off the position, or they're going to stay there and be worse defensively. When you got these kids coming up, athletic as heck, who can make plays, jump, do all these crazy things, not to mention the international pool. I'm telling you, there is a lot to this game that the shortstop's the most easily turned over position in the sport. And I wouldn't pay someone. It's like running back in football.
That's good. That's a great note to end on. I'm going to think about that for a week till our next pod here. Wow. That was really good, Dylan. Thanks for everybody who tuned in. We really appreciate the support. We just hit 4,000 followers on Instagram. Just hit 4,000 followers on TikTok. Our next goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. So if you're new listening here, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to do some big things this season. Push out a lot of content for you guys. And we just want to reach new baseball fans. So with your help, please subscribe to the channel. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next week. See you.